output is rather dirty. I'm going to do a little demo of the issues on this MG1. I'm running it through this vintage little amp. It's just filming it with my phone. This is, the Arturia is triggering the pitch and the trigger. The original 1/4-inch jacks function just fine. First, the main issue is volume. The volume is a little wonky. It kind of distorts out really easy. The whole synth is a little noisy. You can hear some hiss coming out of it. It's old circuits here. And when you turn the volume up fast, it'll kind of cut out and do some weird shit. And it kind of almost squishes the output into like a little pulse width modulation weirdness. So I keep the volume low and it's pretty reasonable. In addition, the mixer output is hot, distorted, overdriven a bit. In fact, the whole synth is a little overdriven and dirty. So I just need you to know that it's not the cleanest sound. And to deal with that, I keep the volumes down. I keep the volume about at 3. I keep all these down below 3. We'll start with oscillator 1. I'll play around with the filter as I go. Oscillator 2. Filter does some weird stuff. Notice I have a piece of electrical tape here because if you send this slider down, it'll make an audible pop. So I just put a electric tape stop so it doesn't, the frequency can't go any lower, which is reasonable. Polyphony functions. You can play the polyphony over top of the triggering. I'll say something about tuning. This thing is not calibrated. It needs to be calibrated. As you go up the scale, up the keys, the tuning gets off with the 2 oscillators. Polyphony seems calibrated. I just tune the lowest oscillator down all the way, tune the polyphony to that, and then I tune the second oscillator to those 2. The LFO makes a little popping sound. Of course, that goes away when you bring up all the oscillators. And specifically, this LFO is making the filter pop. I'm not sure if the envelope always functions when it's triggered. There is a pulse width modulation for the square wave of oscillator 1. It's very subtle, barely functions. Everything else functions over here. The octaves function. And I'll just demo the volume one more time. It cuts out a little bit when you move it fast, so I move it slow. And finally, it has 3 1/8" modified trigger inputs, a gate, S trigger, and a pulse width for just tone source 1's pulse width. They don't really function. You can get a little bit of filter modulation. It's super subtle. So there's that. So I think that's about everything. And overall, it heats up. After being on for 20-30 minutes, it heats up to a certain point and kind of stays at temperature. It does emit an odor like a lot of old synths. So if you are not into smelly old weird electronics, don't buy this. That's the way a lot of old 35-plus-year-old products are, as all the components, adhesives, whatnot, have heated and cooled so many times, they're all degraded, so no guarantee. There's a few cracks on the cosmetic decal on top of the metal. The metal is not cracked. It's got basic scuffs. The headphone output functions. The modulation waveforms function. I'll demonstrate that. Like I said before, the square wave and the random sample and hold waveform create that click sound, which is a function of the volume and the filter. I think the envelope is a little weird. I don't quite understand how it functions always, so it may have issues. Here's a demo of the envelope's attack and decay. White noise works. Bell tone works. This is not tuned properly. The polyphony seems okay, but the oscillators are in need of calibration. As you move up the keyboard, the tuning goes out.